Right, abusuan mu bibia kwa ban family 2K loso e wo YouTube so ase abusuan ban nsem ahodo a e koso e wo mem hase no ana de besu mahefo nyina na menu kase ni sese no info a da paso sisi a Ghana fo e twene sere ne abasa pa ba ko e ken sounds na ana asare me ya o mu issue yi na menu kase no ana ensem ne mu nchirimu eno no prepa e fasa ase mu ho aba betodwa menu kase o pen kase ba ko friends e po ado mo kire so aba be chirimbi na abusuan be ko ni akwa akotie sanse mu nchirimu mesos answer na no ubu ni ndi kwa so when you subscribe for my channel ya na wa subscribe e de amamina say ebuja me bon se minya to fa e de achi ni akwa akwaji nchiri na ye tell na say yes ensema chese ana asare me yawo e de call e court a okoka fa e kene Agyapong hu nyina na ye say si ye hwe no kure pa e wasa ase mu ma ye se no kure room no wa he kure ingu 3% mpo ye say entronko an ensema o kan ba kure no honma ana say imududua na chese enya no kure a court ne din kan isu ma sisi no Omasanso ye hwemu pay ye hu no kure na ebusia ye ko ne akwa akwaji sanse mu nchiri mu mesro so nya subscribe ya no subscribe ya me din Kwam Gentle.
Team Kennedy a favor by reducing the amount, but rather let's look at the law and ask ourselves what within the jury's verdict can be supported by both the statute and the case law of New Jersey. Here, since Anas did not prove actual damages, the jury was in error to award 5 million for actual damages. 2, since Anas did not prove actual damages, he is not eligible for punitive damage, so the 8 million is also out. That leaves $5 million to talk about. And the New Jersey statute, if you are only qualified for nominal damages, which is, in this case, what Anas is qualified for, the limit to that award is $500. So we asked the judge to mold the award to conform with the law, and that's exactly what the judge did.
I see. So what was the response of Anas's lawyers then?
Well, I saw a press release that was put up. Strange enough, it was dated on Sunday. The decision came out on Monday, so I'm not sure how they got the date wrong. But in their press release, they admitted that the judge has entered judgment in the amount of $500. There's a little bit of embellishment to satisfy their ego, which is none of our business. However, just this morning, one of Anas's attorney indicated that they are going to study the transcript of the judge's ruling and see if they have any other recourse. But we believe that we have an ironclad case and it will stand scrutiny even on an appeal. So we are not bothered at all.
What is the opportunity for appeal? Appeal in New Jersey or to the federal?
No, appeal will go to the New Jersey appellate court. But we are here. We are ready if that is what they plan to do. Honorable Kennedy Agyapong is also ready to engage.
I see. So the case that went to court was a case of defamation. Is that correct?
It was a case of defamation. And as Ghanaians would know, there was the same type of case filed by Anas in Ghana against Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. On that case, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong won at the High Court. Anas appealed to the Supreme Court, and also he lost. Now, in one instance, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong was in New Jersey, and he granted an interview. As part of the interview, he was asked what he knew about Ahmed Suale's death, and he responded. And in that response, made comments against Anas. It was based on that interview that Anas decided to file a lawsuit in New Jersey. Under New Jersey law, if the defamation happened within the state of New Jersey, you can have jurisdiction. And that is what happened in this case.
Now, so did the court say there was defamation or that there was no defamation? What did the court say about that?
The ruling specifically said that the words uttered, or some of the words uttered by Honorable Kennedy Agyapong cannot be proven. And for that matter, will be considered as defaming the reputation of Anas. Here, one of the arguments in the court was that if you call somebody a thief, you must show, or a criminal, you must show that the person has either stolen and been arrested before or has a conviction for the criminal offense that you are talking about. And some of the words which we cannot repeat here, uttered by Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, was not pleasant in the ears of Anas. And that is the basis in which the court decided that those words cannot be justified under that circumstances.
So did Anas win the defamation suit? We have is the only judgment that has come out of the court in this matter. Is that correct?
That is exactly correct. And I must speak briefly about the picture that you saw the last time. You know, Team Kennedy had a cameraman with us throughout the trial. Even from the very first day, Anas unmasked his face. But we never published one single photo of the proceedings because we respected the court. However, the only moment Anas brought cameramen to the courtroom, which is the third day, that is when those pictures were taken. And I'll tell you, they took the most ugly pictures and splashed it on social media. Now, we can speak confidently that the tables have turned.
So what was the 18 million about? If you say it wasn't a judgment of the court, where did the figure come from?
All right. So on March 18th, the jury returned a verdict of $18 million. Actually, I believe it's not the 18th. It's a few days before the 18th. I think around the 15th of March. The jury went into deliberation. There was a jury instructions given to the jury to come up with answers to specific questions. Those questions on the jury instructions requested the jury to consider, one, only nominal damage, because the judge made a ruling that Anas did not prove actual damage, and therefore Anas does not qualify for actual damage. With that, the jury were asked only to return a verdict on the nominal damage. The jury came back and returned an $18 million as the damages that Honorable Kennedy Agyapong should pay. We, Kennedy Agyapong's team, immediately moved an oral motion that the jury's verdict is in error, and that we request that the judge either mold or declare a mistrial because of the error on the part of the jury. Thankfully, on March 18th, there was a second phase of the damage trial, where the jury was supposed to consider punitive damages. The jury did that deliberation and returned a questionnaire. In that questionnaire, they asked the judge that in the award of the $18 million, they considered the following, and this is quoting the jury, that we awarded $5 million for actual damage, we awarded $5 million for presumed damages, and we awarded $8 million for punitive damages. Mind you, there was no actual damage proven by Anas. So, in effect, the jury was in error to give that verdict. And the New Jersey statute, if you don't prove actual damages, you also don't qualify for punitive damages. So the $8 million was also in error. And the last part, nominal damage under New Jersey law is only up to $500. So Team Kennedy moved that the verdict cannot stand. The judge called the jury and after a few deliberations dismissed the jury for their service. That was when the judge instructed the attorneys to file our arguments on record. And at that time, the judge did not enter any judgment. So there was no judgment until yesterday. That is when the official judgment came up. It gives the attorneys the time to file our arguments. And Team Kennedy decided that instead of going for a mistrial, which would give Anas the opportunity to go back and correct himself if there was any error, or to come up with more excuses, we would rather go for what is called a molding of the jury's verdict. Now, molding of the jury's verdict is to conform the verdict to the law. So it is not as if the judge is doing Team Kennedy a favor under that circumstances.
So did Anas win the defamation suit?
Well, Anas got a judgment which basically said that, yes, some of the words used by Honorable Kennedy Agyapong is not supported by the evidence. At the same time, we are giving you $500 to compensate you for your trouble. So if that is what he was looking for, then we might say that he had justice and he had a win. However, during the trial, we, the Kennedy Agyapong team, was made aware that the motivation is to punish Honorable Kennedy Agyapong in the pocket as much as possible. In fact, after the award of $18 million, Anas lawyers argue that there should be more added to the $18 million. So if money is what he was looking for, as it was stated in an open court, your guess is as good as mine if you ask for more than $18 million and you receive $500.
Okay, boss, we'll leave it here. Thank you very much. Congratulations. It's a big victory. It's a really big victory. That turns a lot, makes a lot of difference here in Ghana. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. You are welcome.
So Kennedy Agyapong and his people were celebrating this.